Hello friends, this is Akshay More, working as Assistant Professor, Department of Botany at GMD Arts, BW Commerce and Science College, Sinnar. Today we have to discuss B Sc Botany syllabus for semester first. Friends, in this semester, 9 papers are given, 6 theory paper and 3 practical paper. Today we have to discuss our sixth paper syllabus, that is BO 336 Computational Botany. Paper number 6, Computational Botany. In this paper, we have to see our first point, that is Introduction to Biostatistics. In that point, we have to study, first of all, definition of biostatistics. Next, statistical terms, that is population, sample, primary and secondary data, qualitative and quantitative data, parameter and statistics, attributes, variable, discrete and continuous variables, statistical errors, linear and nonlinear functions of statistics, frequency and its distribution. These terms we studied in statistical terms. Next, scopes, application and uses of biostatistics. Friends, these all point we have to study in Introduction to Biostatistics. Next, sample and sampling. In that point, we have to study definition. Next, sampling unit and sample and population, types of sampling, need of randomness, achieving randomness, and merits and limitation of sampling. Next point, collection and representation of data. First point, classification of data. In that point, we have to study meaning and need of classification, objectives of classification, classification according to class interval, and overlapping and non-overlapping frequency table. This point we have to study in classification of data. Next, methods of representation of statistical data. In that point, we have to study essential feature of tabular presentation. Second one, advantages of tabular presentation. Third one is graphical representation of data and its advantages. Next, types of graphics. Fifth one, merits and limitation of graphic representation. Last point, diagrammatic representation of data. All this point we have to study the methods of representation of statistical data. Next point, measures of central tendency of group and ungrouped data. In that point, we have to study simple arithmetic mean, its merits and limitation. Average of position, median and mode, their merits and limitation. Next point, Measures of dispersion. In that point, we have to study meaning of dispersion. In that point, first, range. Computation in individual, discrete and continuous series, coefficient of range, merits and limitation. This point we have to study in range. Next, mean deviation and standard deviation. In that point, we have to study computation for group and ungrouped data and its merits and limitation. Next point, variance. In that point, we have to study definition of variance, coefficient of variance. The next point, correlation and regression. In that point, we have to study some sub-point. First, definition and types of correlation. Second one, coefficient of correlation and its properties. Next point, methods of studying correlation. In that point, we have to study scattered diagram and Pearson coefficient of correlation. Next point, coefficient of determination. And last one, regression analysis. In that point, we have to study two subtypes. First, definition and types of regression, and second one is linear regression. This point we have to study in correlation and regression topic. The next point, probability and types of theoretical probability distribution. In that point, we have to study concept of probability, binomial distribution, Poisson distribution, and normal distribution. This point we have to study in probability and types of theoretical probability distribution. Next point, test of significance of mean. In that topic, we have to study introduction, statistics and its standard error, meaning of statistical hypothesis, level of significance, null hypothesis, and alternative hypothesis. Next point, students t-test. In that point, we have to study two types of test. First, unfair test, and second one is fair test. Last point, chi-square test as a test of goodness of fit and its significance. This point we have to study in that topic. Next point, computation of seed testing and plant growth index. In that point, we have to study seed germination and early seedling growths. In that point, we have to study 5 sub-point. First one is germination percentage, that is GM. Second, mean germination time, denoted by M, capital G or capital T. Third one is germination index, GI. Fourth one, germination speed, GS. And fifth one is vigor index, VI. Next point, seed germination and early seedling growth under stress. In that point, we have to study 5 sub-point. First one, promptness index, PI. Second one, germination stress tolerance index, GSI. Next, plant height stress tolerance index, PHSI. Fourth one is root length stress tolerance index, that is denoted by RLSI. And fifth one, dry matter stress tolerance index, that is denoted by capital D, capital M, capital S, and capital I. Next point, that is plant growth indices. That point we have to study some sub point. First one, absolute growth rate. This is denoted by capital A, capital G and capital R. Second one, crop growth rate denoted by capital C, capital G and capital R. Third one, relative growth rate, and fourth one is leaf area index. Our next point, analysis of data on vegetation studies. Friends, in that point we have to study two sub point. First one, data obtained from portraits and transacts method, and second one is computation of crop or vegetation biomass using satellite data. Friends, all this point we have to study it in our sixth paper, that is computational botany. Thank you.